What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mood616 here, and I'm back with another Top 10 Tuesday video for y'all. This is going to be episode 110, and this is also coming via request. Actually, this topic has been requested multiple times over the last couple years of this series, but I kept putting this one off because I generally don't like to focus on negative things and, make worst of lists and things like that. The only time I ever do that is when I'm reviewing a film for the first time, and it just happens to be bad. I don't really try to go out of my way to make, to showcase bad things in my videos. I always try to look for the good in things, as most people know, but I thought this was actually kind of a funny idea. I do have a list of really horrible films that are in my collection, so that is this week's top 10. The 10 worst films in my collection. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why do I have these films in my collection? I guess I could probably explain as I go through, but some of these films are part of franchises and other collections, and being a completist, I kind of have to own them because that's the OCD in me. Some people may laugh at that, but that's just what it is, and that's what I'm sticking to. So, without further ado, let's get right into this top 10 list. In at number 10 is a film called Absolute Zombies, aka Absolute Shit. This movie actually has a funny history with me because this is the film that actually got me kicked off the Wild Eye review list for the second time. So I got kicked off the first time for a review I did of a film, and, they didn't like it because I was being too honest. That's actually what the guy told me. And I did it again with this one, gave it a really poor review, and I got kicked off again. Now, I like to stick to who I am. I'm not going to review films and lie about them. There's many YouTubers out there, I'm not going to say their names, but they get sent review copies left and right, and they give dishonest reviews because they are sucking the company's cock. Me, on the other hand, if you send me a movie to review, if I like it, I'll tell you I like it. If I don't, I won't. My attitude essentially got me kicked off this list, but I don't really care because Wild Eye released mostly shitty films anyways. But anyways, I digress. But Absolute Zombies, it's like a post-apocalyptic zombie film where these characters have to go through this wasteland, survival film. It's just full of really bad green screen, terrible CG, terrible acting, editing. Everything about this movie is absolute shit. It's really bad. Although it did make me laugh in a couple parts. I guess that's kind of why I have it at number 10 right now. But, I mean, really, ranking these films is like ranking buckets of diarrhea. It doesn't really fucking matter. It's all the same shit. Absolute Zombies, it's bad from Wild Eye. It's part of their Raw line. This line is just, it focuses on basically no-budget films. But, Absolute Zombies, pretty bad. In at number 10. In at number 9 is Beauty Queen Butcher. Now, I'm a really big fan of Camp Motion Pictures' retro 80s horror collection. Like, I love, Video Violence 1 and 2, Cannibal, Campouts, Cannibal 4. Like, things like that. I love all those movies. This one, on the other hand, is it's bad. It is so bad. This movie suffers, not only the fact that it is shot on video, and that's not usually an issue for me. I love shot on video films, but this one just suffers from not having an edit. It's 2 hours long. There's a scene in this film where when she's getting crowned, Beauty Queen, I mean, that scene is not edited at all. It's like 45 minutes of people and, in this pageant and shit. It's so bad. Kills are horrible. It's very, very slow paced. I mean, there's no pacing to this film. It's just, we shot a couple hours of footage. We're going to put everything into there. And that's always a problem that plagues low budget films, is that they always want to use what they shoot because, that's just part of low budget filmmaking. But this one is really abysmal. Oh man, it's such a shame too, because with a name like Beauty Queen Butcher, man, you'd hope it would be a little bit better. But it's not. It's 2 hours that you just never get back in your life. So, Beauty Queen Butcher. And at number 9. And at number 8 is The Summer of the Massacre. Oh my god, this movie. This is released by Midnight Releasing, a company that I actually used to do reviews for, which, they're hit and miss, but this is one of their early titles, and I want to say this is a British film. I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember. I've only ever watched it once, obviously, but This one basically is about these teens that decide to take the shortcut through this country field, and they come across this serial or this slasher by the name of Hammerhead. Is it Hammerhead? I think it says on the back. Yeah, it is Hammerhead. It's like kind of a cool name, but yeah, it's just, man, the acting, the effects, the way this thing's shot, it's really, really choppy. It just looks like shit, sounds like shit. This one, like all around, every technical spec of filmmaking is terrible, but, you know, run-of-the-mill slasher, basically no storyline and shit like that. Really piss poor. Really, really piss poor stuff. So, but that is the Summer of the Massacre. This is the one with a, you know, there's another film with a similar title, but this is just straight up slasher film. So that was in at number 8. In at number 7 is Children of the Corn 666. I should have put this at number 6 because, yeah. Yeah, Children of the Corn 666. Now, if you're familiar with the Children of the Corn franchise, you're probably thinking, yeah, the whole franchise is pretty shit. The interesting thing about the Children of the Corn films is that most of them don't have much continuity at all. So, if you watch the Children of the Corn films as standalone films, just, you know, and perceive them as, you know, sequels as name and only, some of the films actually aren't that bad, to be honest. Like, Revelations actually isn't that bad of a movie. As a sequel, it's horrible. I mean, every film in this franchise as a sequel is terrible. But if you look at it, you know, from the first perspective I mentioned, it's not too bad. This, on the other hand, actually is supposed to have continuity. Of course, it's Isaac's return. He was in the very first Children of the Corn film. This movie's a mess. Like, it's probably the biggest budget film on this top 10 list, but man, it doesn't do anything for what it's trying to accomplish. And I really don't know what they're trying to accomplish with this one, because the story's so muffled and all over the place. It doesn't make any fucking sense. The acting is atrocious in this. The effects are bad. It's just one of those really piss poor films where, you know, they found out that they could get this guy to come back, so they named it Isaac's Return. Sell the movie like that, obviously. You know, if you're a fan of the original, you're like, oh, fucking Isaac's back. Yeah, I'm going to check that shit out. No, this is a total miss. Not good stuff at all. Children of the Corn 666, Isaac's Return. Skip over this one. It's really bad. Dimension, man. Holy shit. That's horrible. That was number 7. In at number 6 is the other one with a very similar title, The Summer of Massacre. This is a very, very low budget film released by Vicious Circle Films. This is an anthology film, and it proclaims to have the highest body count in a slasher film at 155. Guinness World Record. It might have that. It's just pretty much every kill in this film is CG'd, and really poorly CG'd. Actually, that's what this movie is. It just seems like it was completely created on, you know, computers. But it's really shitty, man. It's so low budget and terrible. Oh, man. Like, again, you know, I've only seen this one once. It is an anthology-based film. Here's kind of the breakdown of it. The same guy that did Jackhammer Massacre, and that movie is atrocious, too. That movie probably could have even been on this list. But it is, it's got 4 or 5 stories, and I think it has 5. I think it says 5. It's an anthology-based slasher film. It's kind of an interesting premise, but it really does not deliver. It's actually very tedious to watch. I did laugh in a few parts. I remember laughing, but ultimately, very fucking terrible. So, and that was in at number 6. In at number 5 is Morbid. Now, I almost feel bad putting this movie on the list, since I do like the director, Chuck Connery. He actually does YouTube. He has a website called zombiesdon'trun.com, and I watch his YouTube videos, and I actually read his reviews and stuff, and I like Chuck. And he just released another film. I think it's Door 1 of the 5 Doors to Hell. I haven't seen that one yet. I believe that's an anthology film too. I do want to support Chuck and get that one, but this movie right here, oh man. It was actually tedious to watch. I was just full of the most annoying. I think this movie might even have the most annoying characters ever in it. I think it's more supposed to be like a comedy type thing, but again, you know, released on the Wild Eye Raw line. I couldn't do this. I probably am going to rewatch this because everyone keeps telling me they need to rewatch it. But again, I do feel bad putting this on there because, you know, I do like Chuck. But I gotta say, man, it's another one of these films where the cover art really sucked me in. Plus, you know, I knew that Chuck was doing it, so I was like, okay, I'll check it out. But yeah, you know, early films, I guess. But oh man, that's all I gotta say. Not for me. That was number 5. In at number 4 is probably the worst found footage film I've ever seen in my life. We actually reviewed this on the podcast. Part of this Fangory Presents line. They did 5 of these with these kind of comic booky covers and stuff. Yeah, found footage film done completely wrong in every aspect. It's very, very shitty. The effects, the story, the way it's shot. Oh, lordy. This is a fucking tedious-ass film. I mean, if you don't like found footage films to start with, this might be the worst shit that you could ever possibly imagine to sit through. It's really piss poor. There's the storyline if you want to, pause that and read it. It doesn't really matter. It's just so fucking bad. And that's another problem. Really, 90 fucking minutes. You're going to make a shitfest 90 minutes? Come on. Entity. Oh, do not check it out, people. It's horrible. Really bad found footage. Like, that's how you don't do found footage films. In at number 4. In at number 3 is Slaughter Claws. This movie is, was actually sent to me by my friend Bill, Mr. Snickers 21, and he didn't know anything about it. He sent it over to me because it was Christmas horror and he thought I would enjoy it. And he ended up checking it out for himself, and he was just, I think he said he was appalled at how bad it was too. But this movie is probably the most tedious film I've ever watched in my life, because it has scenes where, somebody talks and then it cuts to the person that's supposed to respond to them, and about 5 or 6 seconds later they respond, and then it cuts back to the other person, and then it has a long pause, and it's just long pauses like all over the place. It's so low budget. It has this strange ass elf in it that's just ridiculous. It has this scene in here, I think it's this puke scene that goes on for, I swear to God, like 5 minutes. It's very, very repetitive too. The whole film is super repetitive. Oh man, it's so bad in every conceivable way possible. Oh, it's bad. It's so bad. I don't really know what else to say about this. It's, I've only ever watched it once. That was enough for me. But I keep it because I think some of these movies are, Bill obviously sent it to me. I'm not going to get rid of a film that someone sent to me, but wow. Slaughter Claws, that's on a different level. In at number 3. In at number 2 is Huey Lamel's Boogeyman 2. The director's cut. Now, this movie basically is the Boogeyman 1. It has so much, flashback scenes with some new footage and stuff, and it's just, this isn't even a goddamn movie. This is fucking atrocious. It's been a long time since I've seen this one, but I just remember hating this film so fucking much that it had to make this list, man. It was just, it actually pisses me off. I'm not even a big fan of the first Boogeyman film. But yeah, part 2 and 3 are just, oh my God, they're so bad. This movie, it's not even a damn movie. What the fuck were they thinking? From what I hear, Huey Lamel didn't even want to do this film. Hence how it kind of turned out with all the flashback scenes. And it's like a rehash of the first one with, like some interview. It's kind of like this faux, like, interview thing. I don't know how to really classify this, but it's like it's a total abortion. They should have just aborted the idea and never made this shit, but Boogeyman 2, horrible. And the worst film in my collection, I don't know. Worst is subjective, but this is the film I hate the most. I hate this movie so much. And that is The Howling 7. Man, this movie sucks. Just like Children of the Corn, the Howling franchise has a lot of films in name only, sequels in name only. They don't have anything to do with the first film. In fact, this franchise, really, every film is like completely different. It's like a totally different storyline type thing. This movie has a terrible storyline. It's set in this like small ass country town, and it's shot with the local people. And this movie kind of plays out like how long is this? 75 or 9? Yeah, that's right. I remember joking about this on the franchise review on the podcast. But 90 minutes. It plays out like a country western music video. They shoot at this local bar with all these locals, non-actors. Everything's ad-libbed. It's just country music playing the whole time. There's very little story. It's like it's like the epitome of stupid. It's ridiculous. It's so damn bad. I can't even believe that this movie ever got made. Clive Turner actually like stars in this. He directed it. I think he wrote it. He funded it. Like he's like a one-man band on this one, man. And that's sometimes that's a good thing, but in this case, it's not. It's simply not. The Howling 7 is atrocious, man. It's so, and I can see why this doesn't have a Region 1 release. This is, the Region 2. Yeah, The Howling 7, atrocious. And I'm gonna throw one out here. as a bonus film because I actually grabbed 11. I didn't even realize I grabbed 11. But so 5 Across the Eyes. I'm going to put this out there. This movie is another like kind of found footage type film. The way this movie is shot is nauseating. It's literally shot like, could you imagine watching this whole video like this? That's how this whole movie is. I mean, that right there was probably the most annoying thing. 90 fucking 4 minutes, man. Like, and it's just, oh my God, it's so bad. How this thing ever got released and even picked up by Anchor Bay just blows my mind. But 5 Across the Eyes, complete and utter shit. Let's do a quick little recap here. Again, number 1, Howling 7. Number 2, Boogeyman 2. Number 3, Slaughter Claws. Number 4, Entity. Ugh. Number 5, Morbid. Number 6, Summer of Massacre. Number 7, Children of the Corn 666, Isaac's Return. Number 8, The Summer of the Massacre. Number 9, Beauty Queen Butcher. I don't even think this chick is even in the movie. Now when I think about it, she's not even the Beauty Queen. Typical 80s. Yeah, that's the chick that plays the beauty. What the fuck? Anyways, and at number 10, Absolute Zombies, aka Absolute Shit. So that is going to do it for the video. I hope the people that requested this one are happy with it. That was actually kind of fun to do. I usually don't talk about 10 movies that I absolutely hate. So that was kind of fun. But anyways, guys, if you have any more requests, I'm trying to get to these. I do have a few more lined up. You know, after 110 episodes of Top 10 Tuesdays, the subject matter starts to get a little bit thinner, as you could probably imagine. But, you know, there's still topics out there to be done. As you know, I don't like to show movies in these lists that I don't own or talk about because it's just, I feel like it should come from your collection, but that's just me. Anyways, guys, that's it for episode 110. Check you guys later. And as usual, deuces. Peace.